I am open to receive all that life has in store for me. Friend, now you know you can't claim blessings with a closed fist, right? And I get it. Life be lifing sometimes. Things happen, you get betrayed, you may even get hurt. And life tends to beat us up sometimes. But living a life that is open is a sacred surrender. And today's conversation is going to lead us to a place where we are constantly remembering that life is to be lived wide open. Are you ready? Get set. Let's grow. Hey, welcome back to another episode of From the Ground to the Crown, a podcast community where we grow with intention, elevate our mindset, and step into our highest selves unapologetically. Today's episode is pretty lit, y'all. Today is the first episode that I am recording with a guest. Little happy dance for me. Because I knew I would get to this point, and I'm so happy that things aligned in the way that they did. If you are just joining me, From the Ground to the Crown is all about just openness and synergy and intention. And today's guest literally just fell into this role, into this opportunity on social media. We'll talk about that later. But if you're joining me today, we're talking about being open with our guest and how life can do all the things as it does for everyone, but remaining open is the blessing and the gift, and we're going to work through that today. So if you are on your growth journey and you do not have the faith, maybe you're afraid to be open, afraid to be vulnerable with the universe, and maybe you are trying to control all aspects of your life, this episode is for you, so make sure you stay tuned. Okay, y'all. Today I'm joined by someone whose voice cuts through noise and nurtures healing. Eboné, Almon, the creator and host of the Professional Homegirl podcast. Hey friend, welcome to the podcast.
Hey sis, how are you, Professional Homegirl?
Girl, I am so grateful that you're here with me. Thank you so much for joining From the Ground to the Crown.
No, thank you so much for having me and also for being your first guest. I feel so honored. So thank you.
Beautiful synergy. Yeah. We'll talk about how this came to be in just a little bit. But first, I wanted to give the people a little bit more about you. I'm going to read your bio for our viewers. So Eboné is a bold entrepreneur, storyteller, and podcast host committed to amplifying the voices of women of color. Through her platform, she centers raw, honest conversations on identity, healing, resilience, and growth. A survivor herself, builds sacred space for others to feel seen, heard, and held, reminding us all that tough times don't last, but professional homegirls do. Okay, sis, you are her. You're her, okay? From the topics, from the range, from the way that you navigate conversations that aren't always the lightest, I'm really, really grateful that you chose to be here and share yourself with us. So again, seriously, thank you.
No, thank you. I'm excited. I feel like we keep saying we're excited to talk to each other for weeks now?
We have. It's been a little while, y'all. Let me tell you guys how this actually came to be. So I knew I wanted some guests on the podcast, but I didn't want it to be just my friends or people that I just grabbed from anywhere. So I was on Threads and I put up a thread. And I was like, hey, these are the qualifications that I'm looking for. If you are a podcaster and you think this aligns with you, reach out.
And Eboné, not only did she respond, but she sent the email, and I was very appreciative of how intentional the email was. I love intentionality. And that was really the first thing that, like, stuck out to me. I was like, okay, this resonates because this is exactly what I would have done. So the fact that you did that is cool as hell. So yeah, thank you for even throwing and pitching a show, an episode really my way. I'm grateful.
No, of course. When I saw your message on Threads, I'm like, oh my God, I hope she lets me be a part of her show. But I'm really big on like going the extra mile and making sure that, you know, not only do I stand out, but people get to feel my energy while being intentional. Because I think people just think that doing the bare minimum is okay. But I'm like, no, like I wanted to introduce myself through email. We had a nice little conversation over, I think it was over FaceTime or Zoom or something. And we had so many different things in common. So I was like, this is going to be a good kiki.
You know, a beautiful time. Anytime you link up with somebody on the socials, on the web, and then you actually kind of, not in real life because we haven't met in person yet, but you talk to them a little bit more intimate, and it just, the synergy is there. It's like, okay, thank you. You know,
right.
Like, that was not hard. Thank
Super
you so
easy.
much.
Right.
Exactly. Okay, so let's get into today's episode, y'all. As always, we have an affirmation from the Hey Friend Hey card deck, daily affirmations, and today's affirmation is open. The affirmation card says, as you open yourself up to the world will provide you with all that you need to flourish. Allow yourself to be open and flexible, friend. Okay? And the affirmation is, I am open to receiving all that life has in store for me. So let's talk about it, sis, because I know living on this earth for the decades that we've been here, Child. You too may have experienced, I know you experienced some now. I know. So let's really get into it today, y'all. We're going to share some stories about maybe times where we weren't so open, maybe times where it was a little more difficult to be open after what you've experienced just being alive. So thinking about this affirmation, do you have a story, something that comes to mind for you about a time where you either realized that maybe you weren't as open as you thought you were, or maybe, you know, you realized that you had to soften to be able to receive something?
Well, I think for me, just overall my life, you know, growing up, I had a very challenging, tough upbringing. And I learned at a very young age that nobody was coming to save me. And even now, I still have moments where I'm like, damn, like, where is my Superman at? Because, you know, as you know, just being a woman, especially a woman of color, it's a lot that goes on. And you're an entrepreneur. You know, I have desires of being a mom and a wife and all these other things. And then I'm just trying to be the best Beyonce that I can be. So it's a lot of, period, right?
Okay.
It's just a lot of hard work that goes into being the best version of yourself. But one thing that I have learned, and one thing that I continuously share with other people, especially young girls that look like us, is you have to be open. And when I learned to surrender to God and to trust Him for the life that He has envisioned for me, that has been the best decision that I have ever made. So I always tell people, be open. I would have never thought as an MBA with a concentration in entrepreneurship and general management that I will be getting paid for speaking. You know, and just talking to people and just kikiing with women from so many different walks of life and men now. Their journeys, like, you have to be open in this world to receive the blessings that's in store for you.
Absolutely. I mean, I love what you said, just in trusting. You know, you have to have a level of faith and belief in yourself, right? Like that everything is always working out for the greatest good of myself and all. That's like
all times.
The most divine thought. Like, even when I can't see, and I always say, even when I can't see the staircase, I can see the step. You know what I'm saying? I just need to see like the next moment, not all the way up. And I'm like, all right, let's just focus on the step. So I'm glad that you also have testimony to that. But maybe, like, do you have a moment where you didn't realize that you weren't open? Like, you thought you were flexible in a move that you were making or an experience that you were having, but looking back, hindsight, you were like, nah, I definitely was closed off there for whatever reason, right? But you can identify now that you weren't as open to receiving.
I would probably say before I started the podcast maybe like 7 years ago, And right before I partnered with my network, that was maybe 3 or 4 years ago. And I was just going through a lot of things. And I don't think that I was as open to the possibilities of where I'm at now. Like, I always knew that I was going to make it. But my thing with God, I'm like, come on, God, like, when is it going to happen? you know? And so I think that during that season, that's when I had my moment of surrender where I was just like, you know what? Let me just be open and let me just not be in control of this, because obviously I have no control. And I think that, like I mentioned earlier, like when I fully surrender and fully let him just take the wheel, that's when things started to flow. So not only was I, being open, I decided to be celibate for 4 years. I gave up a lot to show my commitment. Like, okay, I really want this life that you have already shown me. So I think that during that season, I was really trying to do things my way. I was trying to like just be in control. And it's like, girl, you're not in control of nothing but nothing actually.
Nothing, okay? Nothing.
Right.
Nothing. It's such a crazy thing, when we equate control to safety. And I talked about that in a previous episode, like how I don't know where this is taught. This is definitely a learned notion, but it's one of the greatest misconceptions is that being in control of your life equates to safety. Like somehow that if you've got a handle and a grip on everything, you're good, right?
No,
and
that's true. I didn't think about that.
It's insane to think, and I like say this often as well. If you don't tell your heart to beat, you don't tell your lungs to breathe, babe, you can't even control the fact that we are spinning on a ball in space. Yeah. What are you really controlling here?
Yeah.
Like, it's very little. And
very
I think
little.
that when we are closed grip and we're not open to life, we get dragged by the reminder that we're not in control.
Yeah. Yeah. I didn't think about that, how control equates to safety.
I think that's what it is for a lot of us. A lot of us either have grown up in situations where we had to protect ourselves, or we were raised by people who had to protect themselves for fear of their safety. And so whether it's epigenetics or whether it's like community, environment, societal pressures teaching you that if you don't have a grip on this thing, you are not safe.
Yeah.
And that's a reality for a lot of people, right? Like, it is a truth. But when do we get out of it? How do we like turn it off? Or what does it turn off?
Right.
Like, is there a switch? I don't know.
Right. I don't think it's gonna ever turn off, child. I just think we get better with it at time.
Yeah, you kind of learn how to navigate. And I think of everything as like a practice. So I'm like, I could just get better if I practice. That's all
what
I
they
got.
say, right?
we gonna see. We seeing right now, y'all. We trying to figure it out. When you were talking, it made me think of a moment where I was not as open as I thought I was. And I, at one point in time, had a very, how do I say this, unique dating style where I wasn't entertaining too many people. I have like a very, as a New Yorker, like this, like what? Move on. What?
Right.
What? Like,
you have no patience for BS.
I had like, come on, leave me alone, leave me alone, leave me alone. Like, that was how I was moving out here in these streets. And this was after I was in a 4-year relationship, got my heart broken. I was like, let me just try this again. I'm just gonna be open. Right? I'm just gonna be open, is what I said. Was not open at all. Okay, like the first couple of people that I went out with, I'm like, why? It's kind of like the same. It's kind of like...
Well, dating is ghetto now. But that's a different topic. It's...
I'm sorry for the girls, because I don't know this experience
I'm the girls.
at all.
I'm the girls. Dating is ghetto. I don't know what is going on in the dating world. Like, it is crazy.
Listen, from what I hear, there's like a lot of caveats here, but I know that there's a shared experience that the dating pool is a little Wild Wild West looking right now. And even that, like, are you still open, although your experiences may be, and I'm sure, not I'm sure you are, but the question is, are you still open to dating and receiving love, even with your shared experience that the dating pool got a little pee in it right now?
I mean, I'm a hopeless romantic, and I think that's a blessing and a curse. And so,
Mm-hmm.
you know, once I once I exit my celibacy journey, and I was like, all right, God, because I ain't gonna find no man in the house, so I need to put myself
Right,
out
right,
there and
right,
like,
right.
you know what I'm saying, like, and I'm cute, like it's like, come on, God.
Yes.
And so, I think that I would have never thought at this big age that it would be so difficult with, dating and just meeting people. And also, I feel like sometimes when people discover who I'm affiliated with and what I do, I don't think I'm big time or anything. I feel like I'm a E-list celebrity. But,
Girl,
people
you
get in.
her. You
Right.
her.
Thank you. But I
Yeah.
feel like, I always want people to know who I am and not what I do. So I feel like it has been challenging, but I am being open to like, trying dating apps or open to letting people hook me up by with their friends, whatever the case may be. But it is definitely has been a journey. But I also believe that whatever God has for me, He has brought me this far and gave me my desires so far. So I know that I'm gonna meet my nice, generous, kind man that's gonna give me everything that
Yes.
I want and then some. So I feel like
Yes.
it's just a season of just being patient, and when it's your time, it's just your time.
Ashe, sis. I believe that for you. I love that you speak it so clearly. How could it not come true?
How
It's
could it
already
not come
done.
true after
Yeah,
everything that I've been
beautiful.
through? You know what I'm saying?
Come
But
on
also I'm
now.
being patient because I'm like, I do believe that when I do get a man, like I'm gonna get married and then he gonna have some kids. I'm gonna be stressed out. So I want to enjoy
Okay.
my
Enjoy the
time.
singledom. Enjoy
Right.
the singledom.
Right.
Yes. Yes. That's so interesting. I was just talking to another homegirl who had that same epiphany. She was like, once I get this man, it's going up. So let me just chill out. I'm like,
Girl, chilling, okay? Going to Paris in a couple of hours. We. Okay.
yes, turn up. I love this so,
Listen.
so much. And this is exactly how it worked for me. I mean, I was like out here. I had made a list of restaurants in Atlanta that I really, really wanted to check out. And I would swipe on Tinder and I would talk to someone. And if they got like 40 hours out of me on the app. And after that, I was like, do you want to, I'm going to this restaurant. You want to come? Like, if you do not invite me to somewhere, or if you are like, hey, what do you want to do? I got a restaurant suggestion. Do you want to take me here? And I just ate. I ate through Atlanta. I was like eating at all the places
As
that
you
I wanted to
should,
eat.
child, for free
And
99.
okay, sometimes I pay for myself. If the meeting, if the date was not going well, I'd be like, look, when I tell you I was brutal, I was like, look, I don't want to do this conversation anymore. I'll pay for my own, and I'm out. I hate wasting my time.
But that's
It's like
good
the
that you were
worst.
though. Yeah, I feel like we were taught to be aggressive with our professional goals. Like we need to be aggressive with our personal goals and attack everything that we want.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely. I believe that if you don't know what day God gonna call your number and you're gonna get snatched up out of here, you better act accordingly. So I don't be
Right.
playing with my time. I'm like, if this is my last 20 minutes, do I really want to be talking to you? I don't.
Right.
I don't. So I was like, hey, here's my cash. Like, I'm out. And bewildered, they'd be sitting there looking at me, but I'm like, no, seriously, like I cannot keep doing this to myself. But when I came and swiped on my husband, who I actually met on Tinder,
Come on,
I was
husband.
going back and forth. Yes,
Right,
we
we
out here.
both
Okay, some of
period.
us, some of us have made it off the apps. We made it. Here we are. But when I swiped on him, I was kind of still closed. I was like, he's not from New York. He's not even from the Northeast. He grew up in
Mm.
Atlanta. And I was like, he's light skinned. He looked like my brother. Like, I had all these qualms. And my homegirl at the time was like, girl, please get over yourself. Just go out with him. And I
Yeah,
was
have
like,
some
oh,
fun.
okay, we're going to try it. Guys in Atlanta, something about the accent. My head cannot compute. And I was like, not trying to go out on a date with somebody I could not speak with.
I know.
I just was like,
But you're a true New Yorker, so sometimes the
yeah,
accent
yeah. But I was
could
like,
be a lot.
I'm over here reading lips. I'm like, what did you just say? I can't.
Oh, he
So that was
country
my
country.
fear. But he's not, though. He ended up not being country at all. He's actually Caribbean. And
Mm.
even though he grew up in Atlanta, he can turn it on and turn it off. He also spent like 10 years of his life in LA. So he has a different way of moving. And I didn't know that, of course, from Tinder. So we ended up going out and I heard his voice and I thought he was just this most magical person in the world.
Aw.
And here we are almost 8 years later. So it worked
Oh
out.
my
I'm
God.
glad. I'm glad I listened.
Oh, you're giving me hope. Okay. Let me continue to be open on these apps, child.
You got this. You got this. And I done been through them, child. I'm telling you, I was walking out the restaurants like, I'm not doing this no more. Y'all are ghetto. It's ghetto. Not doing it. But yes, I love that. Here we are, me with testimony at what it looked like to stay open, and you with this desire and this willingness to be open to all that life has in store for you in divine time, which I think is beautiful. Time. Yeah, not rushing perfection, you know? I really want to pivot to our Root and Rise segment, y'all. And this is a segment where we take a thought that once had us stuck, dig deep to the root of it, and elevate it to a crowned perspective so that we can see things differently. Sometimes when we look at being open, we often make it synonymous to like being overgiving or being too selfless, right? Sometimes people think open means that you gotta bare your whole soul and just be so vulnerable that you get taken advantage of. But in your opinion, like looking at how openness and being open has been a blessing for your life, what would you say to people that are afraid to be open, maybe because they've been hurt or betrayed or what have you? What would you express to them in that space?
Well, I think for me, I would probably ask, why are you afraid? I think that, a lot of things that hinder us come from our childhood. And
absolutely.
Right? And I always say your childhood makes or breaks your adulthood. And I think the reason why a lot of grown-ups are in the situation that we are in or we overcame is because, we either ran away from what caused us harm. We either married what caused us harm. We try to go to school and study what caused us harm. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so I think that to have a conversation with somebody and to really help them to discover their why. Because I think once you get to the bottom of it, then you can be able to rise up. Because I think that even when I think about my life, like I think about all the things I've been through and I look at where I'm at now. And, a lot of the things that I overcame was because of my childhood. Mm-hmm. It really was. And I think once I did the work, I went to therapy. And then, also just having conversations with people. Like people really don't understand the value of just sitting down and just listening. When you listen, you know what I'm saying? When you listen, you really help somebody feel seen. And that's the one thing that I have learned is that everybody just want to feel seen.
That's it. They just want you to call them by their name.
Yeah.
And they want you to see them for who they are and all of their layered, we're humans. Yeah. Just figuring this thing out. It's not even that serious, right?
I know. I felt them chills.
Yeah. I'm like, I had to close my eyes for a second just to recalibrate. I was like, all right, where was I going? I love that you have the Professional Homegirl podcast because I think that that's just a testament to how open you are to hearing different stories and, again, creating safe space for people to tell their truths. I think that there's a part of openness that is founded in vulnerability. The willingness to show and to see is powerful. And I do understand why there are fears around being open, but there's such a beauty that you don't get when you're closed. It's like reading a book, knowing every word, every chapter. Like, yeah, that's cool that you can recite the book, but like, do you really know it? Have you really lived it? Are you really enjoying it if you only know the words on the pages? Whereas when you're like open, it's like you're experiencing, it feels so beautiful to be seen and to be known and to be loved and to be alive. Honestly, it feels
to be alive. Facts.
That's Facts. It right there. Like, that's why I'm here. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm telling you. And one thing I always tell people is you just never know how your storyline can be somebody else's lifeline. So that is the reason why we have to share our stories. Like one of my favorite lyrics from Jay-Z is Hov went through that, so you ain't got to go through that. And I think that's the beauty of, the Professional Homegirl podcast is because it is a pink print. It's a blueprint for you to navigate Black womanhood. And I think that when you hear these stories and when you are open, because, sometimes we can be a judgmental people, you understand why our good sister had to go out and become a sex worker so she can take care of her siblings. Right. You know what I'm saying? Or like you would definitely understand the reasons why, because you are open to receiving.
Absolutely. And just to know that there are stories like that do exist. Sometimes
Absolutely.
it seems like humanness is such this far-fetched, just like no, there's no human that could live that experience. It's like, are you kidding me? Do you know how many people are out here peopling? All of us. Like,
Girl, when I tell you the human experience is so fascinating, like I'm always just so fascinated by some stories.
yes. Yes. I went into college studying psychology because I'm really intrigued by the mind. I think the mind is such a beautifully complex, like I really get into it. And then when I meet people, and my background is in hospitality, so I used to manage hotels. And I'm checking in hundreds of guests. I've checked in thousands of people. Just hearing, just even during check-in, just a little quip of who they are. It's like, wow, that's your job. Wow, where you live at? Wow, what you doing? Like, whoa.
It is amazing. Like I'm just always just so surprised at the decisions that people made. And not to say that decision was bad, because sometimes the bad decision is the only decision. But like you said,
Yeah.
like just to be able to just hear a little quip of just like the things that people are doing, where they going, who they with. Like I'm just like, wow, like what a life.
You got to be open to it, yo. And you never know where these conversations will lead you. You never know what will be sparked by you being open. You just never know what happens when you take the time to intentionally unpack, like Eboné was saying, your childhood, whatever traumas and triggers, whatever sufferings you've experienced. When you really do the work to navigate through them, because you never, like, I don't believe you get over anything. I believe you get through things. You carry elements of it with you because some of it is needed in life, but you navigate them, and then it teaches you to be more compassionate, and it teaches you to be more kind and less judgmental and more open to just, again, this is spinning ball, y'all. There's blessings around every corner if you are open to receiving them.
Everything is an opportunity and a blessing.
Yeah, and it's like, okay, we get that your heart was broken. We get it. We honor that. That is a feeling and an experience you had. Now, can you break it open a little bit more so you can let the love flow? Can you do that? Okay, because that's really what's next. I really want to ask this question, and you might not have an answer, but this is a root question for any of our listeners. In what areas of my life, if you had to ask yourself this, in what areas of my life am I still bracing for impact instead of blooming?
Come on, Oprah.
So maybe, yeah. That's so funny. Yo. One of my homeboys calls me Ayanla Winfrey all the time, and I think that is so funny. He's like, you either over here on your Oprah-ish or you doing full blown Ayanla, and he loves
got
it.
A sniper.
So yeah.
Yo, don't get me started with the love I have for that woman.
Yo, listen, not what's it? Not on my watch. Not on my. I love.
When she told that man to speak it into the ground, and she was forcing his hand in the dirt.
Please, so good. I'm actually gonna go rewatch some episodes because
I do that all the time. Oh my god!
You just need a refresher. You just need a refresher on Ayanla Vanzant. I remember I was like 11 and I read my mom had one of her books in the bathroom, and I just picked it up one day, and I'm in the tub, like head back, reading. I was like 11, and that really opened me up to just the psychology, but the spiritual aspect of what we go through. And I thought that was just a beautiful, I think it was like the book that she wrote after her daughter had passed away or something like that, because I do remember. And I was like, this broken hearted woman has written this beautiful book.
What a story.
Whoa.
What a story. Like, if y'all don't
Yeah.
know who this woman is, shame on you.
Yeah.
Shame on you. Look, this is a national treasure.
I just really appreciate the fact that I'm not always like rooting for every method to her madness, but I do appreciate how she provides language and tools to people who would not normally have access to them, and helps them connect their experience to the experiences of the people they're hurting, the people around them, the people who've come before them. Like, that pathology and connection, I think, is so important for us.
Yeah.
It's so important.
Yeah. Shout out to her. That's auntie right there, man.
Listen, good times. But no, okay. So is there anywhere in your life where what's the question at? Okay, what areas of my life am I still bracing for impact instead of blooming?
That's a good question. I don't know.
I think I have something. I believe that if I were to look at this question, I just stopped bracing for impact when it came to like leaving or living in Thailand. I feel like I've been waiting for the other shoe to drop, as if this was like some magical outworldly, like somebody, like, I don't know, Trump gonna come snatch me up, child. He gonna snatch me up out of
right
here.
Back to New York.
Yeah, like, where you think? Come back here. Let's go back. Like, oh shoot, they about to come get me, you know? I've been really looking for presence in the experience that my husband and I have created for our life living outside of the country. And I'm just like, now that we got a 5-year visa here, I'm finally exhaling fully and really owning the fact that I don't live in that ghetto ass place right now. Like, I don't live there. I don't. And that feels really new to me. But I'm open to all that this experience has to offer, because I've finally found it in myself that this is what I'm doing. I'm like, I don't live there. I live here. I'm good. Everything is right. You know?
You know, when you put it like that, the one thing that comes to mind, because like I said earlier, I'm going to Paris in the next couple of hours. But I don't know, this trip to Paris is really about me refilling my cup. Because as you know, just being an entrepreneur, you know, I still have my 9 to 5, because the goal is to fully transition to doing my business full time. And then, you know, just doing all the things, like I said, of just becoming the best version of myself has been a lot of work. And I think I hit a point where I experienced burnout. And I'm so used to always performing at a high level. But as I'm getting older, I'm starting to realize that I don't want to perform at a high level in every area of my life, you know?
Yes.
And I feel like I'm getting emotional, but I feel like the one area that I would like to see impact, like I know my show is needed. I know that's my purpose because it feels good, but you know, and I also know that comparison is the thief of joy. That I do know, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
But sometimes I just wish that when you look at everybody else and you see the accolades and all this other stuff, it's just like, damn, like, my show is about hope. My show is about to keep going. Like, tough times don't last, but professional homegirls do. But sometimes I just wish that people, and I think they will see it eventually, but sometimes I just wish people would see the value in my show at times. Like, I feel like I still have to work so freaking hard. And I get it. We're gonna always have to work hard. But sometimes I just can't wait to get to a level or a place of ease, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Sis, I'm holding you close. I'm holding you close, girl, because I just want to affirm for you that there's so much beauty in the quality of your work. And I know that there are goals that we have that are tied to how other people see us. But I hope that at the beginning and the end of the day, you remember how much quality your work is bringing to the world. And even if it's 5 people who like an episode, those 5 people are going to be blessed with words and movement that they would not have. And I know it doesn't bring the accolades that, you know, we'd like to see, but what beautiful work, what beautiful, brave work you're doing, and I'm grateful for it.
Not me tearing up, child.
Yeah, I just... You know, I don't even want to go there with you because I
don't want to go there with me.
No, it just shows how open you are to your work, you know, and how open you are to the blessings. And it's going to come. It's going to come for sure. I don't know what it looks like or when it comes, but I do know that when we are open and when we work from a beautiful space, from our heart chakra, from our heart center, the work that is done, the blessings that spin the block on us are like, we could have never imagined, you know, you just could never imagine. So go to Patty. Okay. Take your break. Okay. Deservedly so. Yes. Yes. Croissant. Right. Croissant. Yo, turn up. Turn up. Because you
Boucher.
deserve it.
Why? Right.
No
No, I'm
disrespect
so
to our
excited.
French brothers and sisters, but yeah, no, go turn up. It's beautiful. I've been once. I had a really great time. It reminded me a little of New York in the 90s. I did go like before the pandemic, so hopefully they like swept it up a little bit. But I was like, okay, y'all need like a street sweeper out here or something. Like, what's going on?
Oh, it's giving
Paris.
those type of vibes.
Yeah. But it's cool. It's cool. I will say that they were not with it. If you do not speak French, they're like,
I know. So I got my app now because I'm like,
good.
I don't want nobody sunning me while I'm out there.
And I was like, are you just going to ignore me? Are you going to ignore me like I don't exist? I'm trying to give you my money. They're like, girl, was that English that we heard?
I know.
Yeah, little stupid language out of here. They were not feeling it. So
stupid Americans.
Definitely, yeah. They were so over it. I was like, dang, a girl can't get a latte or nothing. That's so crazy.
I cannot wait. Like this time tomorrow, I would be in Paris.
You're going to have so much fun. It's going to be so good. I'm so excited for you.
Thank you. Me too, sis.
I think I still have a list, too. I don't know if these restaurants or places are open.
Oh, send it to me, please.
Sure will, girl. I had a good eating old time out there. I was eating it up. Okay.
See, that's what I want to do. Like I probably buy a couple of little pieces here and there, but I don't even care about shopping. Like I want to experience Black Paris. I want to eat. I want to drink. I want to like put my hand on top of the Eiffel Tower like the rest of these girls.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
I even went to a French club out there, and I got some songs on my Spotify
I want
playlist
to
from the club.
party, like, and then I found this Black tour group. It was founded by a Black woman from Florida. She moved there like 20 years ago. So me and her been in conversation. Because I was like, I would love to have you on the show. Like, I just want to just experience Black Paris. I want to know about Josephine Baker, James Baldwin, like all these different creatives, and just get my inspiration back up and going, you know?
Yeah, that's gonna be great, yo. I'm excited for you. And I know there are tons of groups out there now. Like I said, this is pre-pandemic that I went out there, so I'm sure it looks very, very different, and there are way more people around the world. So, yeah. You're gonna be fine. This is gonna be great. And if you get a chance, go to we took like a $40 flight to Amsterdam. We were out there for like a day or two. But I also met this Black woman. I'm Scottish and Jamaican, and this woman was Scottish Jamaican, and we had the same last name. And I met her at a cafe.
Well, that's your first
day. I literally, I still, like, we were emailing for a little bit. I still got her card because I'm like, girl, what are the odds that I would meet a Black American woman who has a heritage tour in Amsterdam, who is Scottish Jamaican from the, like, are you kidding me? Come on.
Oh my
You're my
God.
cousin.
I cannot wait.
Again, when you're open, things like that happen, you know, like.
I'm so excited, like, girl.
Yay!
So excited.
This is going to be beautiful. I cannot wait to hear about your trip. No problem. Okay, y'all. Let me get back to the root. So we got through some root things, you know, just really sitting with the fact that life is going life. You know, it doesn't take away from the experience when you're open. It doesn't hurt any less. It doesn't, you know, dry up any more tears. Shit's still funky out here sometimes, y'all.
Facts.
Okay? But the whole thing is that you can navigate your life again. You can attract the blessings that you want when you are open. Life does just turn around, you know, and you have a different perspective to the experiences that you have. So let's think about some rise questions really quickly. And this is like just elevated perspective on being open. How can you allow life to surprise you this week?
How can I allow life to surprise me this week? I hope it surprised me with a rich man, child.
He there at the airport.
Right. I walked into a cafe to get a croissant.
Oui.
How can I allow life to surprise me? I think it just goes back to the affirmation, just being open. Like, when I tell you, I'm literally just I'm in the space of just being Delulu and La La Land. Like, I'm just going to let the wind take me wherever it wants to take me. So I think that just having that mindset, anything is possible. Anything, you know?
I love and receive that. I think for me this week, I am going to, I plan my week as much as I possibly can. But this week, I'll leave one day for exploration. I'm just going to walk around. I'll just
Exactly.
turn down a block that I don't normally go down, and I'll see.
Just explore wherever
That
spirit
is
takes you.
just intentionally open. I'm so open that I'm just going wherever. The leaf is pointing that way, then I'm going that way because the leaf is pointing that way.
Girl, I'm trying to tell you, when I tell you I ain't got no navigational compass on at all when I go to Paris, I am going to be with the wind.
Yeah, the wind beneath your wings.
Girl, beneath everything.
I love it because I know that this is really where the magic happens, when you don't plan and you just leave space for the universe to turn up for you. What's the ism? I didn't even say the ism, y'all, but the ism for this episode is the universe can't pour into what isn't open. Because how you gonna get it? How you gonna get it when your hands are like this? You can't get anything with closed fists. So just remember that you can be intentional about the universe pouring into something when you are intentionally open to receiving it. Yeah. And that leads me to my next question. Okay.
Facts, I felt that.
If you believe that the universe wanted to support you, how would you move differently? If there's anything that you would do differently, what would that be?
I think for me, I think that what I need to do is, I don't know, I think I just need to just be more accepting of the journey. Like, I think I need to trust the process more. And not to say that I don't, but I do. It's ebbs and flows. 1 minute I'm flowing with it, and next minute I'm like, I feel resistance, because I feel like I should be in a certain space or I should have certain things. But I think that when I am in a space of just like, you know what, we here. Yeah, so I think that and I think that's another reason why I'm excited because I need to reprogram myself and get back on track. But that's what burnout would do. Burnout would cause you to think that you're not doing enough or you should be doing this, you should be doing that, where you're doing exactly what you're supposed to be doing. And when I was at dinner with my mentor, one thing she brought to my attention was she was like, you're feeling this pressures because you are about to elevate to the next level. She said, right. So she was like, so give yourself some grace and be open. Allow that pressure to come and go so you can be able to proceed to the next part of your journey.
Yeah, and you need to, you got to get not comfortable with it, but you have to get acclimated with that discomfort because
no, you're right, comfortable.
Yeah, it's not gonna be there forever. But if you don't meet it and it's only resistance, then how do you know how to navigate it? You don't.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is a beautiful testament to, like, again, just where you are in your journey. Knowing that this is a practice for you. Knowing that, like you said, it's ebbs and flows to this thing. It's not really a rule book. It's like, I'm going to do my best today. That's all I got.
I'm just winging it.
Listen, man, we are spiritual beings having a human experience. We're doing what we can. We're doing what we can. We don't know what we're doing. That's like my favorite thing to remind people. Like, this is my first time being a human in this body. What do you want from me? Like,
yeah,
I don't know.
Because I ain't got it.
I don't have it. I don't even know what you really are expecting right now,
Listen, call me Whitney Houston because I have nothing. Okay?
Done.
I'm done.
Yeah. Just empty, y'all. It's really that simple. And
don't ask me for shit.
Okay, because I literally don't know. Like, I'm so good at not knowing. I'm like, I don't really know. What do you think?
Ask Google, baby.
Yeah, talk to my homegirl chat. Okay, talk to chat. Get on the phone with that girl Google, because I know she's a woman too. Because women got all the answers, right?
Listen.
And then go ahead and watch something on YouTube, and voila, you got an answer.
Or if you old school, you better ask Jeeves.
Okay, now that's way back. Everybody won't know about that. The original.
Right.
The original.
That's the original chat GPT.
Dang. That was
a throwback.
That's good. That's where it all started from, y'all.
I really do need to talk my talk in the way that I have never before. And so I've got a lot of experience. I've done a lot of different things. And now I want to step into a space where I'm teaching more than I'm just being a student, or more than I'm absorbing what other people around me are doing. And I haven't really felt comfortable like laying a claim, like this is the type of teacher I am. This is how I want to lead other people. And I haven't created a framework or any of these things, even though I know I can and I know I probably should.
Right.
And so this year I'm like, no, I'm putting together a retreat. I'm going to invite people to Thailand. I'm going to have people come to learn these things from me. And this is why I'm qualified. And this is how long I've been doing this work. And this is why you should come and vibe with me. And really owning that truth that I have enough experience to now teach others. I think in owning that, the universe is like, all right, you want to play? You want to, rumble with the bee? You want to like stomp with the big dogs? Okay, cool.
Right.
Here you go. Here's some tests.
And want it. Yeah.
Listen, these last couple weeks, I've been like, all right, Lord, like, woo. Okay, get off my neck a little bit. Okay, off my back a little bit. Feel a little tighter up here. But I do understand that this is what comes with the request for more, right? This is what comes when you're open. You're going to get tested to see, are you ready? And when you navigate through it, the blessings come right after it. It's like, oh, well, here, you did it. Cool.
Right.
And so I know that this Paris trip for you is about to be just like that. You're about to be out there chilling. And then they're going to be like, here, okay, girl, you did the work. Here you go. Cool.
Can't wait.
It's happening. And you can't wait. You're just going to be chilling for these next couple of weeks. You're going to be vibing out, sipping lattes, eating croissants at the cafe with, Paris Bay or whatever. And it's going to be beautiful.
Paris Bay. Yes, it is.
Yeah. We're calling that out for you. I love, manifesting is such a vibe for me. So I'm like, he already at the cafe. He just waiting for you.
Okay, to walk in and to walk through. Okay.
Period. So y'all, before we finish today's episode, I really want to touch base really quickly on, okay, are you into astrology?
So I have a little history with that. I'll tell you that off the show. But I am.
Gotcha.
I was into it, yeah.
Okay. What is your sun sign? So what's your birth sign?
Okay, so I'm not good with terminology. I just know I'm an Aquarius.
Okay.
Okay.
Boom. That's right there. That's the sun sign. And so I asked that question because here I kind of like to pull in different modalities because I think that they all kind of converge at some point in time. And so I'm a Leo. And, I think that when we look at our natal charts, when we look at our birth charts, when we look at the signs and the way that astrology plays into who we are as beings, sometimes it'll help us navigate through different areas. And I know as someone, so there are like elemental signs, mutable signs, there are fixed signs. Your signs and where they are, the placements in different charts and houses and all of those things. I'm not an astrologist. I just know a little bit. I know a lot of bit about myself and know a little bit about other people. But where you tend to be more open, right, where there are water signs in your chart or even air signs, tend to talk to your flexibility. And so as an Aquarius is an air sign. Aquarius is a water sign. And is it air? It's an air sign. Okay. You see my brain was like, girl, what are you even talking about? Skirt.
No, it's an air sign.
Okay. Yeah, so Aquarius is an air sign. You're all about openness and the freedom and flowing and moving through it. And so when people navigate their own charts, they can look at areas that maybe Gemini or Aquarius represent, where there's a lot of air, so that they can tie in those qualities from those signs to help them move through different things. For me, I'm more like fixed. I'm dominant. Most of my top signs are like 10 toes down. We don't move. We don't go nowhere. We not. It's like I said what I said.
Right.
Yeah, done. And we're done. And we don't want to hear anything about it because we already thought about it and the answer is no.
Right.
And so my North Node, which is usually your guiding light, this is where you're like ascending to in your zodiac chart. My North Node is Aquarius. And I've had to learn to be more flexible, to be more open, to be more fluid. Growing up as a child who was very rigid, I'm like, it's black or white. I don't understand what you're saying.
Facts.
I've had to navigate life and looking at my birth chart, looking at, okay, where should I be working towards, has always been about being more flexible and being more innovative and understanding, and really like a chameleon. I think of Aquarius as a chameleon. You can put them in any room and they will navigate. You know, you guys tend to do so well with that. You have many different types of friends from different walks of life.
That's a fact. Yeah.
It's like I had to literally like teach myself how to aspire to this Aquarius in my chart, because I ain't have it at all. And so I think it's really interesting that you are an Aquarius, and that's like, I'm like, yeah, I'm trying to get to where you at, because sometimes I don't got it.
Well, child, I ain't got it either. Not right now. So don't feel bad.
I got tickets to Paris. Okay, that's all I got. Tickets to Paris. Period. And I don't blame you. It's vacation mode, and anything other than vacation mode is disqualified.
Exactly. I ain't got nothing. Don't ask me. Don't tell me. Don't show me.
And don't no. The answer is no. It's above her now. It is above her
above
now.
Me, child. Right.
That's cool, yo. That's cool. Okay, y'all. So like we've been talking about today and being open, like we said, the universe cannot pour into what isn't open for you. So as a last question, Eboné, what would you say to someone who's afraid to be open again?
You ain't gonna get nowhere if you're not trying. Like, you gotta be open. Like, that's just the name of the game. Like, and if you can't look back and even cringe at your old self, then you're not really growing. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to be open. Like, you have to be open. Like, you're not gonna make it in this world if you're not open. I think a lot of times life would teach you that you need people, you need things, you need experiences, you need lessons. Like, you have to be open to all those different types of blessings in order for you to get to the next part of your journey.
Ashe. Yeah, 100%. I would add to anyone who is afraid to be open again that it doesn't sting any less when you're closed. I think it hurts even more when you're closed off. I think the little draggings that happen, not even little, because sometimes it's a big dragging, child. But when you get dragged by life, I think you start getting bruised up when you're closed. I think at least, yeah, it's a little skid mark or something when you open, but when you close, baby, it's black eyes. It's like wop 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 wop. Like, oh shoot, I got hurt. Yeah, come on, yo. That part, okay? You gonna get beat. I don't think staying closed, I know from experience that being closed does not make the beating any better. It actually makes it worse.
Like, when you open, you can fight back.
Yeah, you got tools. Your hands is ready. You got quick. Tools. You can move. Pop, 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 pop. You can do it. Come on. But when it's closed, you're so focused on keeping your hands like this that you can't even react to anything. You can't even do no praying, nothing. You can't do nothing because your hands are closed off. And so I'd be more afraid to be like this, honestly, if I were you.
Yeah, facts.
Same, sis. Thank you for that response, and thank you for sharing that and reminding the people that you just got to do what you got to do. That's it. That's why we're here.
Yeah.
Okay, so I want to leave the listeners with a journal prompt. This is for y'all to answer to yourselves in your journals, or you can drop your comments under the podcast. The question is, what version of me needs to soften in order to bloom?
Come on, Oprah. That was a good one.
Yeah.
You gonna come with these questions, baby.
Don't hype me up. I'm a question. I love questions. I really do. I really appreciate them. Yeah. What version of you needs to soften in order to bloom? Here at From the Ground to the Crown, you know we're all about elevation. We are all about seeing you flourish into your highest self unapologetically. And sometimes that looks like being honest about the versions of us that don't align anymore, and identifying what the work looks like to unlearn that version so that we can be open to the newest versions of us that are literally awaiting our next move. So sit with that question, answer it for yourself. If you are feeling called, I would love for you to share in the comments with me. I always interact with the comments, so please drop them below. Any final words for our viewers, our listeners today? Anything else that you want to share about your openness journey, or just about anything?
No, like while you was talking, I just thought about my motto, like, tough times don't last, but professional homegirls do. So just know that, like you said, everything is working for you, and whatever you need is within you or within reach. So keep going.
I love that. I had this idea to write this book, and I got half of the book title tattooed on me already. I don't know if I'm gonna finish it, but
when I was, it's permanent.
Yeah, child. Wait till you hear the title before you say that. That's why I only got half the title. When I got out of high school, I went through a lot in those 4 years of high school. When I made it to Howard, I was like, all right, this is, like you were saying, tough times don't last. This was one of those things that really, I was like, I'm gonna write a book called Sometimes in Life Shit Happens.
Yeah.
Because I truly believe that. So I got the sometimes in life part tatted, but the shit happens. I was like, okay, let me not do that part yet. Like, maybe I'll do it later on in life. But just a reminder to, again, being open is you having faith that whatever happens won't be here forever. And like my sis Eboné said, tough times don't last, but professional homegirls sure do.
Okay.
I hope
period.
I hope y'all really enjoyed this conversation today with Eboné and I. Really, really, again, thank you. I'm so honored that you were here for this first guest
thank
episode.
You. This was amazing. Beautiful. Like the fact that he was like, "Oh, we gonna do this at 8:00 in the morning." I'm like, perfect. I'll be up.
I was. Yes. That girl, like, I'm getting ready for vacation, so let's do this.
I need to be exhausted on this flight. So listen, we can do it at midnight for all I care.
Yeah. I love it.
No, this was perfect. I love it. This was a good way to start the day. So thank you so much for having me on your show.
I'm so grateful for you. Thank you for your time and all the things. Y'all, please make sure you guys tap in with the Professional Homegirl podcast. I'm gonna share Eboné, all of Eboné and the podcast handles and website in the description. But make sure you follow her on Instagram at the PHG podcast, right? Mm-hmm. The PHG, Professional Homegirl podcast. And you also have your own social media handle, right? Do you want them to follow you there?
Please follow me so y'all can see my cute outfits.
Hey.
Okay. But follow me at the Professional Homegirl on Instagram, TikTok, and also on YouTube, please, because I'm like obsessed with YouTube.
Yes, subscribe to all the things. If you aren't already, make sure you subscribe to the From the Ground to the Crown podcast so that you can tune in weekly to new episodes. And now I got guests coming on, so y'all know it's about to be super lit. So shout out to y'all for tuning in for this one. Thank you again, sis, for joining me. Make sure you subscribe, rate this podcast, and review it on Spotify and Apple. And follow me on TikTok, Instagram, and Threads. It's Kenesha B, and you can find the podcast on socials at To The Crown Pod. That's the number 2, The Crown Pod. All right, beautiful people, that is it for another episode of From the Ground to the Crown. Sis, thank you again. Safe travels to Paris. Have a ball, and blessings on blessings on blessings to you. Yes.
Thank you.
All right, y'all. Talk to you soon.
Bye.
All right.